Hi there, Peter Racer here, Foundation Expo 88 YouTube channel, and in this particular YouTube on this July the 6th, we're going to be talking a little bit about these beautiful pieces that are being currently prepared to go to Caboolture. Dean Rustling from Chalkos Foundry has been really helpful with the previous 6. But his workload's kicked up a little bit, so I'm going to finish these other ones off by myself. Now the story behind these is very interesting. They started out in Loganholme, then Stefan convinced John Longhurst, who was the owner of the Logan Hyperdome about 16 years ago, to donate them to Southbank, because Stefan really had a passion that Southbank needed a little bit more Expo 88 flavour. Into Collins House, a collection of about 15 or so went. Out of that 15 or so, 2 were then used by Southbank. And then when Campbell Newman got into power and the last piece of Southbank was sold, which was Collins House, where these items were stored, they then made their way over to Roma Street Parkland into a rail carriage. Now, in the move, a couple of them seem to have disappeared. Maybe they were just too far gone. And then from there, Lord Mayor Graham Quirk then started to recast some of the ones out of that particular collection. They then, after that, were culled with the surplus ones that were never ever going to be ever used again, going up to Kingaroy. And then there were 4 that were parts of bodies that were sort of disposed of, ended up in Kingaroy as well. Now, Kingaroy is using some of the COVID funds to reimagine tourism, and these items now don't play a role up there because they are making direct contact with John Underwood for the Banjo Patterson collection that is sitting up at Red Hill, which is a collection of about 20 to 30 pieces. So these odd bits and pieces have been taken out of storage from the Kingaroy Museum and are being refurbished at no cost by Dean Rustling, and then will make their way to Caboolture to go with the Kendone Australia signs and the other large collection of Expo 88 items that they have. Searchlights from Expo 88, a toilet block from Expo 88, the ramp from Expo 88, which was part of the Artbuster collection, and hundreds of items that mum and dads around Caboolture have donated into the Caboolture Historical Village. So let me finish here, and then in the next part, after they've dried, you'll see how the painting occurs, and that'll probably be done tomorrow. Thank you. Yeah, it's the next day. These are now perfectly dry. They really do need to be dry. I have the face mask, because this is toxic stuff, and I have the special paint. Now this Rust-Oleum paint, when I use it to repair the canopy on my 4-wheel drive, the fiberglass canopy, the gloss white against the gloss white, once it's dry, you cannot tell it apart. It's that good, this product. Now, these will be painted. You'll see later today where the end result is displayed with the black background at night time. Comes up fantastic, I think. In fact, the whole series, the 8 of them, will feature at the end of the YouTube. Now, an interesting little point. So, when the original trunks went up to Blackbutt and to Kingaroy, they were 2 butterfly captures and 2 dancers. And the idea was to have a B&D to B&D bike ride. That then morphed into being an 88-kilometre bike ride, and now it's dead in the water because there is no butterfly catchers or dancers up there. But the end result if the South Burnett Council, under the leadership and drive of Spud in his role as COVID fund and tourism developer, gets his way, the 20 to 30 odd Banjo Paterson storybook should be a fantastic narrative, and it still in a way links and helps the Expo 88 narrative, because there will be at least one Expo 88 piece up there in the Kingaroy information kiosk, which is the clown bending over backwards, and if they're lucky they'll be also getting the sculptor if the QBuild department ever get their act together. So thank you for listening, and we'll next part of the YouTube will be the nighttime shots.